Yo, what's going on, everybody? It's Blanco the Slime, and in today's video, we're going to be going over 10 things that you're still doing wrong in GTA Online in 2025. Now, I know a lot of us are veteran players, but some of us are newer or beginner players, so this is more so catered to those guys, but you never know, man. Even us veterans make mistakes, and we still do silly things, and there is actually a couple things I have listed here that previously in my comment section, veteran players said they didn't even know about. So if you are new here, hit the sub button. If you enjoy the video, hit it with a thumbs up, and let's get right into it with number 10. Now, the first thing on the list is going to be having all large warehouses, which is actually probably something that veteran players are doing, which is absolutely wrong. You should not own all large warehouses as previously thought, for a couple reasons. Large warehouses, of course, are the most profitable and can make you the most amount of money through your CEO, special cargo. But the problem with owning all large warehouses is, one, they take forever to build up, whereas the smaller and medium ones, you got small, medium, and large. So the small and medium ones, they will fill up a lot easier, and you can sell them 2 or 3 times while you're filling up. I would say have 2 large, maybe 2 medium, 1 small, and that way you can sell your smaller warehouses while your 2 large ones build up. But there is also another reason for this. It's not simply just because the warehouse is built faster and stuff. That's actually the less of the reason why you're doing this wrong. The reason having all large warehouses is wrong is because of the new business. The hands-on car wash does have a passive income safe that grants you $1,000 for each different business that you have, for a grand total of $30,000 every 48 minutes. But here's the catch: if you don't own a small or medium warehouse, you'll only max out at $28,000 because small and medium warehouses are counted separately as 2 different businesses. So you definitely want to make sure that you have a small and a medium and a large warehouse. That way you can maximize the passive income safe at your hands-on car wash, because it really is one of the better safes in the game. And you definitely want to make sure that you don't have all large warehouses, and you'll miss out. I understand it's just $2,000, but I'm just a big fan of passive income, and I would prefer the safe to function as highly efficient as possible. Just me personally. Again, all of this is just opinion. This is not saying you're 100% playing the game wrong, but this is just my opinion. I think you should have a small and medium to maximize that safe. I think it's pretty clutch. But let's get into number 9, keeping it going with the new businesses. Of course, one thing you're doing wrong in GTA Online 2025 is ignoring the buffed MC businesses. That, of course, being the Counterfeit Cash Factory and the Weed Farm. The Counterfeit Cash Factory used to only be used to have as a warehouse assignment for your nightclub, and no one really did the sale missions. It was one of the worst MC businesses in the game, whereas now it's actually second. Counterfeit cash at full sale will sell more than a weed farm and meth lab. It will be just second behind the cocaine lockup, and that is, of course, with the new Smoke on the Water and the Higgins Heli Tour and the hands-on car wash. These businesses got buffs. The Higgins Heli Tour buffed the hangar, but the Smoke on the Water weed shop buffed the weed farm by 30%. And then, of course, Counterfeit Cash was bumped by 30% in sale bonuses with the hands-on car wash. So definitely, if you don't own the hands-on car wash and the Smoke on the Water weed shop, and you're not running the Counterfeit Cash Factory and the weed farm sale missions, you're definitely doing something wrong, man. Because especially the fact that the sale missions got buffed, they increased the time limit, they removed the post-van delivery sale missions from the MC businesses. So overall, the MC businesses in 2025 look a lot different than they did a couple years ago. So some veteran players, if you did miss that update and those buffs, you now are aware. Definitely get you the hands-on car wash to buff the Counterfeit Cash Factory, and definitely get you that Smoke on the Water weed shop so you can buff your weed farm. Both will buff these businesses by 30%, making them actually pretty viable. Counterfeit Cash and weed farm has been some of my favorite sale missions lately, some of my favorite businesses to run, and actually gives them some viable usage, so if you're not utilizing them, you're definitely doing it wrong, man. Let's move on to number 8, though. This one's a little bit more for the beginner players. I'm pretty sure the veterans are pretty much on top of this, but that, of course, is using the MK2 weapons, utilizing the weapons workshop in either your freak shop or, there's a couple other places that have weapon workshops, but you definitely want to upgrade all the weapons that you do like to the MK2 variants, as these come with like armor piercing rounds and explosive rounds and stuff like that. And they also just look a lot better. They're like more updated versions of the weapon, and you could put like different attachments and stuff. They change the look of the weapon a little bit and just really look awesome. If we're being honest, like this thing looks absolutely sick. But yeah, man, utilizing those MK2 weapons are definitely going to be beneficial. They'll put your enemies down a lot faster, take out aircraft, vehicles, stuff like that. So if you are a beginner player wondering why you're struggling a little bit in those gunfights, maybe head over to a weapons workshop, upgrade some of your weapons to some MK2 weapons or Mark II weapons, whatever you want to call them, and you might have a little bit of an easier time. Definitely a pretty solid tip. And if you're not using MK2 weapons, you're definitely doing it wrong. Now, coming in at number 7 is kind of a funny one because I would think that most veteran players would know that you do not need to kill the Juggernaut in the CAYO PEEICO heist. There is multiple routes and different ways you can take to complete this heist without having to take out the Juggernaut, yet some veteran players just really have this thing where they feel like they have to kill the Juggernaut. I will leave a video link on the screen and in the description down below with CAYO PEEICO guides where you can clearly see you don't need to take out the Juggernaut, and also if you just need help completing the heist, then that will be there for you. But you definitely do not need to take out the Juggernaut or any guards at all for that matter. And yeah, it's just something that you're doing wrong. If you're going for the Juggernaut when you're doing KO, you really don't have to, and it's actually kind of a waste of time. Now, coming in at number 6 is going for the Nightclub right away. Don't get me wrong. The Nightclub is one of the best businesses in all of GTA Online. It's valid. Like, the Nightclub is definitely one of the best businesses in the game. But with that being said, it does take a while to set up, and in total you will have to buy like all these basement storage upgrades, the Nightclub business upgrades themselves, the staff upgrades, security upgrade, again, you got to buy 5 levels of storage, you got to buy all the warehouse techs, you got to have 5 different businesses that correspond to produce money in the warehouse. So to be honest, the Nightclub is really like a $15 million investment. So I wouldn't recommend going straight for the Nightclub if you are a beginner player. I would recommend, doing other things for money, which we will get into a little bit later in this video. But you're definitely doing something wrong if the first business you're trying to tackle is the Nightclub. Trust me, it's going to take you a while to get that thing up and running, unless you just want to spend tons of money on shark cards. But other than that, as a beginner player, diving straight into the Nightclub is a recipe for disaster, and you will find yourself struggling to get it up and running and fully get it functioning, and you're just going to be wasting tons of money when you could do other things that are going to get you tons of money, and then just do the Nightclub later once you're a little bit more established. All right, and coming in at number 5, exactly what I was just talking about in number 6, is that you want to buy stuff right away as a beginner player, or grind for stuff that's going to be able to reproduce and make you a ton of money. So that brings us to our Kotsaka submarine. Now, the Kotsaka will cost you about $2.5 million. You don't need to buy too many crazy things for it. Just a flat $2.5 million should get you everything you need for the Kotsaka, which will give you the CAYO PEEICO heist. Now, if you don't know, of course, if you're that much of a new player, the CAYO PEEICO heist is absolutely the best way to make money in the entire game. You can make about $1.2 million like every single hour. Again, I will have CAYO PEEICO guides in the description if that is something you're interested in. But definitely don't get on the websites and fall for the, the cars and stuff and the houses, the new businesses. Definitely get yourself a Kotsaka. It should be one of the first things you should be aiming for, either the Kotsaka or the agency, because both give you a way to make $1 million about every hour. The agency with the Dre contract and the Kotsaka with the CAYO PEEICO heist. And the reason I say you should buy these things first is because once you buy these things, again, they can fuel your money for everything else that you want, whether it's the Nightclub, all these other different types of businesses. The Kotsaka and the agency, you could just keep spamming those money-making methods and really fuel your criminal empire in GTA Online. Buying these cars on the website, although they're colorful, they look nice, some of the customization is sick, buy a Kotsaka first, because if you rush to buy these supercars and these crazy vehicles and these new businesses like the car wash, the salvage yard, the bounty office, these businesses are cool, but they don't make a ton of money, especially the newer ones that Rockstar has been putting out. The money's been a little bit more lenient and not really, on the higher end, a little bit more on the skim side. So definitely get yourself a submarine, or the Kotsaka submarine, or an agency. That way you have a way to make money fast and you can keep spamming it, and like I said, fuel your criminal career. Whereas if you buy these sports cars, if you're buying these newer businesses, you're really going to delay yourself from reaching your true money-making potential. But then again, it's your play style. Money doesn't revolve around everything. So again, take this all with a grain of salt. This is just my opinion. And I did want to take this time to quickly say, if you do have something you want to say, about, you know, what players are doing wrong in 2025, leave a comment down below for a chance to be featured in the next installment of this series. I do plan to continue making these types of videos. But anyway, let's move on to number 4, and that of course is the free ammo, health, and of course the armor in your agency. All you have to do is pass through your agency. A lot of players don't know this, but you can get free ammo and free armor, so you never have to buy armor vest or ammo from ammunition again. You can literally just pass through your agency and grab it from right here in this kind of like weapon locker looking thing. Just a quick little tip that some people surprisingly still don't know about. But here's another interesting one that I think is very, very crucial to moving around in the map and your transportation. That is the vehicle camera height. Now, some people like it on low. Currently, I have it on low, but you can see it's a little bit harder to make turns. You can't really see over the top of other vehicles. And in my opinion, driving with the camera on low, although the cars look nicer, I think it's just a lot easier to get spinned out. I think it's a lot easier to crash. Like I said, you really don't have that overview kind of, you know, camera when you're taking these turns. It's really hard to see, but like again, some people do like driving on low. I just personally, in my opinion, think the correct way to drive is definitely vehicle camera on high. In my personal experience, I feel like I crash like 80% less when I'm driving with it on high. Maybe I'm just used to driving it on high. If I drove with it on low more often, maybe that would help improve things. But I just feel like driving with it on low prevents you from seeing a lot of incoming traffic, whereas you'll see now when I switch it to high, just a very slight difference, but just being able to see a little bit higher, it makes cutting those corners and driving in traffic a whole lot easier. As you can see right there, that probably would have been an accident with the vehicle camera height on low. I probably would have hit one of those cars for sure. So you could just kind of see a little bit more while you're traversing. And, you know, for someone, I like to drive around a lot. I try not to use the oppressor and the aircraft too much. I like to use my vehicle. So for someone who drives around the map a lot, definitely something you should consider is putting your vehicle camera height on high instead of low, because you can definitely see more around those corners and on top of other cars, and it will avoid you getting some unnecessary damage and scuffs to your beautiful car. Now, number 2 might be a little silly, but believe it or not, there's still people who don't know that swimming in first person, you will actually swim a lot faster. I believe it's like almost double. It's hard to see with the naked eye, but they did like a test, you know, like over 100 yards or whatever. And I believe it's like 40% faster to swim in first person. Same thing in general, like when you're going up steps, it's a lot easier to run up the steps in first person. You'll do it a lot faster. So nothing really too crazy here. It's not like, you know, it's god awful if you're swimming in third person. But if you really want to maximize your traversal abilities in GTA Online, you're definitely doing it wrong if you're not swimming in first person or running up steps in first person or sprinting in general, because first person does have quicker movement and it has been proven. Now, for number 1, this one might be a little cliche, but I did just want to throw it in there. Number 1, you are playing GTA Online wrong if you are completely listening to other people and not playing to what is tailored to your playstyle. So if you find the game fun for car meets, if you're a car guy, if you're a motorcycle guy, if you just want to ride on bicycles all day, if you have no care in the world for money, you don't have to listen to YouTubers like me and all these other guys telling you what to do, the best ways to make money, the best ways to run your business. Ultimately, guys, video games are for fun, and you should play them tailored to your playstyle and what you find fun, quite frankly. So that's going to be number 1 for me. You're playing the game wrong if you're playing it to satisfy other people. Play video games for how you find them fun. Don't take other people's opinions so seriously. And with that being said, I am going to ask you guys one more time, if you feel that, you know, there are things that people don't know, little hidden tips and tricks that people are still doing wrong in 2025, definitely leave a comment down below to be featured in a future episode, maybe even get like a little shout out. But yeah, if you are new here, hit the subscribe button, hit the bell notification, and also hit that hype feature on my videos. Definitely hype them up. That does help push it out to bigger crowds. And again, if you like the video, hit the thumbs up. Until the next one, peace out, boys.